everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for dropping by today. I'm doing my August 2025 completed pages. I'm a little bit late, I know, but August was quite a bumpy month for me, so I'm a little bit behind in everything, unfortunately, but we will get through it. I don't have too many pages to go through this month, unfortunately. I didn't get a real lot of time to prioritize my coloring, and I did quite a big haul of new books, new supplies and things like that, so I've sort of been distracted with those types of things and my studies. So anyway, we'll go through the few pages that I've done, and yeah, let's get into it. As always, I'll start off with my Amanda Colors 2025 coloring journal. I love this little bad boy. I went back and wanted to do my May page because I want to finish all of the pages in this book by the end of the year. So I guess it's like a mini project book. This is a whip. I did start it but haven't finished it yet because I wanted to prioritize my August page. But I had lots of fun with this page, playing around with metallic watercolor, some Lengua gel pens, and surprisingly the paper handled it really well. Like, there's not a real lot of buckling. There's a little bit, of course, but I haven't ironed this. I haven't done anything. I have just let it dry flat and then closed the book once dry, and it's sorted itself out. So very, very impressed by that. So I used these metallic, they're like an iridescent metallic watercolor that I picked up from Shein. They were so cheap, and there are so many beautiful colors. I love the color of this like silver blue for the water. It's a really unusual color, but I'm so happy with how it turned out. And I also used another one of the colors on this, I don't know, is it like a coral or a sea biscuit or something behind the turtle here? I used more of a bone color with like a purple sort of shimmer shift to it. And then of course the little pearl. I'm looking forward to finishing off this page. So I had fun using Crayola Super Tips to base some of it. I've used my Lengua gel pens in parts of the page. I did the bubbles with the Lengua gel, and I don't think, no, I haven't used any acrylic marker for this one. I just used the Lengua gel pens. I've also used Pentel Dual Hybrid glitter pens in the heart and on the fishes because I wanted them to be a little bit more sparkly rather than metallic. So hopefully that is kind of showing up a little bit. But honestly, this page I just used as a little bit of a, I guess, trial page. I just wanted to try out some mediums that I wasn't super confident in and see how it turned out, and I'm really pleasantly surprised. But as I said, that's a whip, so that one will continue on to another day, but it will be finished by the end of the year. I'm super happy with the results so far. Kind of just did a random color palette. I didn't have any ideas in mind. I just went with whatever popped into my mind, so it's not overly cohesive, but it was fun. So that was, yeah, that was the May page from the planner. I'm going to leave that tag in so I remind myself to do it, like finish it. And here is my August page. This is a Morgan O'Brien page, as we all know, Matchstick Mouse, and it's so cute. It took me so long to finish this page. I'm happy with how it turned out in the end, but this was not my vision for this page. I started off by basing all of the background in Derwent Inktense pencils. I didn't have the best time with it. I know this paper isn't really made for water mediums, as I just said before, but I've been enjoying playing around with them on these pages anyway, but just sometimes things work and some don't. I had like a black, I used the black Derwent Inktense pencil down the bottom half of the circle, and then I activated it with water. It looked okay, but I just could not get the depth that I was desiring. The top half I based in a more of a purple and pink kind of shade. Then I couldn't get the two to blend sort of more cohesively, so it didn't look like it was just a half. So I went in over the top with another coat of the Inktense to try and blend it a little better. Sort of worked, sort of didn't, so I let that dry. Went in over it again with dry Inktense pencils, and then I just got that real sketchy look, like the real, it was cool because it was shaded, but it was just too gritty for what I was looking for. Anyway, I gave up in the end and just went, no, I'm going over everything with a black acrylic marker, and it's going to be a nighttime rainy page. So Matchstick Mouse and the frog are out in the rain at nighttime, and I'm okay with that. So unfortunately, it doesn't always go how we'd hoped, as we all know, but that's all right. I'm quite happy with the outcome anyway, and I just love Matchstick Mouse, so I just couldn't abandon it no matter how hard it got. I refused to give up. So this is what we ended up with. Black acrylic marker in the background. As I said, I used the Derwent Inktense pencils on both the mouse and the frog, and also the little worm and his little friend over here. Unfortunately, I lost this little guy a bit in the background because he is quite dark, the little bug friend. But I tried to leave a slight purple outline around him to try and, you know, make him not fully disappear, but I did lose him a little bit, so yeah. So yeah, Derwent Inktense on all of this. I let it dry down, and then I shaded over the top with the same color pencil. Once dry, it didn't activate. Then I went around the edges of the pictures in a Lenguo gel. I'm happy how these guys turned out. The colors I wanted were as they turned out. I really enjoyed that process. That was loads and loads of fun. For the raindrops, I used blue acrylic marker for the actual drops themselves, and then I went in with my silver Lenguo gel pen on one side of the raindrop and white on the other side to try and give it a little bit of depth and make it look a little bit more 3D. I had intentions of going over the top of the raindrops with my, you know what I'm talking about? This little bad boy. Gosh, I could not remember what it was called. So I had every intention of going over the top with glossy accents of the raindrops to make them stand up off the page, but it didn't happen. After I ended up doing the black background, I was like, that's it, I'm done with this page, and that's how it stayed. So I do have this page in my, is it a rainy day Matchstick Mouse book? I can't remember, but it's definitely in one of the Matchstick Mouse books that I've got as well. So I do get another chance to redeem myself with this one, even though I don't hate how it turned out in the end anyway. But that was my August page for the journal. Okay, so the first book up I'm going to do for this month is one that I completely forgot to do last month. Actually, there's two books. So I'm going to start off with these two books. I don't know what I was thinking, just lost the plot last month. Because I was doing 3 months at the same time, I think I just got myself all mixed up. But anyway, I did this in August and love this. So this is Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosanes, and the page that I did was the Kraken page. This is the first page I've done out of this book, and it took me ages. I think it took me about 2 weeks of coloring, coming back, starting, stopping, learning, trying, and this was my finished product. And guys, I'm so proud of this. I learnt so many new techniques by doing this page, and I'm absolutely thrilled with the outcome. It's, some of you might have already seen it because I did post it on my Instagram, but yeah, I was so disappointed in myself when I realized that I had completely forgotten to share this last month, because it's truly something I'm really proud of. I followed along a couple of color combinations from Karen from My Colorful Country Life, and I've implemented them in this picture. And basically all I did, I based everything with Derwent Inktense pencils just to get some color down on the page, and then I just come in with Prismacolor pencils on everything except for the sky. The sky is just a black acrylic marker because I tossed around so many ideas on what I wanted to do for the sky. In the end, I felt like it needed to be moody, it needed to be dark and angry, just like this whole scene is. So I used, as I said, I based with Inktense, went over with Prismacolor pencils. I also blotted out a lot of the lines with my Languo gel pen, white Jelly Roll, and also my white Posca marker. I had to wait and be very careful with my whites going over the purple, and you can sort of see here, this is the only spot that I've really had any type of issue where it's kind of discolored the white and turned it pink, but I don't mind too much because it's sort of picking up, I guess, the reflection off the Kraken anyway, so I'm totally okay with that. I really love Krakens, I love mythic creatures, and I just think the way this whole illustration was drawn was perfection, and I had a vision and it completely turned out. That doesn't happen very often with me. I'll think of things that I want to do and it doesn't always pan out, so I'm so stoked that this did. I had to take a break for a little bit because it was a huge process for me, and this was one of the first more adult coloring pictures that I had colored since moving across from the more cozy coloring. I still do those as well, but this in particular was one of my first. So once I did this, I had to have a break for a little bit. But I do have this page flagged for Space Timber, and I'm so excited to dip back into this book and can't wait. I love this picture. I'm hoping to get it done. I don't know if I will, but I'm going to try because I feel like a cosmic background just, oh, it just speaks to me. I love it so much. But yeah, so that was my picture from August from Mythomorphia by Kirby Rosanes. The next one is another one from last month. This is from Serendipity by R.J. Hampson. Oh, I love R.J. Hampson's work. I love it so very much. And this book in itself, the cover, this was the first R.J. Hampson book that I purchased because I just was so in love with the cover. I got it and then I fell in love with the book, his art style, and then I've just almost got every book that he has released. And the page that I did from this book is Christmas Gifts. This was so fun. I love this page. I used my Chenrui markers on this and I was like, I cannot make this a fail because this was an untouched book. This was my first picture in this book and I was so determined. I used my Chenrui markers and love the way that the sky turned out. I had such a good time with blending with those markers, and that doesn't always happen with the Chenrui because they dry very fast. Yeah, I just blended and it worked well. I went over just a tiny little bit with some pencils just to give it a little bit more depth in places, but I barely needed to use any at all. And I think all I ended up using was my Chenrui's, acrylic markers for the clouds and the sun. I went over the black line art with the acrylic markers because I kind of just wanted them to be white without that deep line around them. The sun, I used acrylic marker, and then other than that, I only used my white Jelly Roll for a few little highlights and to sort of go around and give a bit of a lacy effect on her shirt. I love how they're sitting in the middle of the desert where it's like stinking hot and she's knitting and they're all standing there with woolly clothes and scarves and stuff on in the boiling heat. It is amazing. I went in over the top, I think, with Color pencils as well, but the majority of the shading I tried to do with my markers. I really wanted to see how this would play with my markers, and I'm really happy with how it came out. I do wish that I had have kind of moved this bottom piece across to the sides a little, but I just went with it. I originally was going to sort of make it like an oval shape kind of page, but yeah, I just kind of went with the flow and this is how it ended up, but I'm really happy with it. I don't lean into warm color palettes very often, so I was scared using all these kind of really bright, vibrant colors. It's just not within my comfort zone to use those, so it's a pleasant surprise that I love how it all turned out, even throwing in a few cooler tones. I don't feel like I made it too much of a mess. I like how it turned out, and it was such a pleasure to color. I enjoyed literally every second of it, as I always do with R.J. Hampson's artwork. So yeah, that was my page from Serendipity by R.J. Hampson. This next one was actually a funny gift given to me by one of my friends. he buys a lot of stuff off Temu, and he found this book on there and bought it for me and sent it to me, and I've had so much fun with this. It is a little bit controversial because I think it has taken pages from another artist's work, which I don't condone. I don't purposefully buy books that steal art or anything like this, but this was gifted to me and I didn't want to just not use it. So I have just had fun with this. I didn't take it seriously. I just went in, had fun, played around with it, and this is what I came up with. I didn't want to go in and do any of the more graphic pages because I remember when the books were released and it caused quite a bit of controversy, and I'm not really about going through all of that on social media. So hopefully this doesn't upset anybody. It's not my intention. As I said, it was gifted to me. He wasn't aware because he doesn't color. He just saw it, knows that I love to color, and bought it as a gift, and I'm very grateful for that. So yeah, these two are just chilling at the beach, and there's like a massive atomic bomb or something going off in the background. I don't know. I had fun trying to work out where to place my colors for the bomb because I've never really colored anything like that before, and I feel like it turned out okay. I used my acrylic markers for all of that, for the cloud, the sun, and a little tiny bit here on the white caps of the waves. But other than that, it was just Chenrui markers and some white jelly roll. And I'm happy with how it all turned out. I like the colors that I've used. It's just a basic page, but it was fun. This paper is very thin and cheap, so it's buckled slightly, but my Chenrui markers do that on almost everything I've noticed. Even my better quality print paper, it still does them on that as well. So that was that page. The other one that I did, I was sick in bed for about 2 days or 3 days, and I did these pages while I was in bed. This one was a nod to my friend because he loves the tigers and he's got a little puppy dog that's so cute. So I drew them in this pic. So yeah, I thought this was again one of the lesser graphic type pictures, and it's sort of lighthearted. Instead of getting her tennis ball, she's found a bone, thinking yay, a bone. And yeah, so for this one again, just use my Chenruis, I use my white jelly roll, and that's it. Oh, actually, I think I used a little bit of yellow Color pencil around the sun just to kind of, emphasize those rays a little bit. And I thought that was kind of cute. So yeah, that was Cottage Crimes coloring book. I don't know who it's by because it's just, a reprint, I think. This one was from a PDF print it's called Joy Jar from Huga Artful. Oh my goodness, I need to cut this page because it is driving me insane. It wasn't, for some reason, when printed, it didn't center on the page. So I've gone in and tried to do my border in line with the image in the middle, and it's thrown my whole page off. And again, I spoke about it last month in one of my books that was bound and trimmed, and I have OCD, and these sorts of things really bother me for some reason. And when I look at this, I'm like, instead of enjoying the picture, because I love how the picture itself turned out, and instead of enjoying that, all I can see is this, and I need to trim it or something. So anyway, enough of that. But I used Chenrui markers, and they dry super fast, so I got a little bit stuck with the edging of my border. So that's why you can see the line, and I've tried to cover it slightly by doing dots, and it didn't work that great, but I don't really care. I feel like it's a soft background. I love the shade of pink that it is, and I had a load of fun doing this page. I used my Chenrui markers again. What else did I use? I used my white jelly roll for some highlights. I used a yellow Languo gel pen for In the Stars, and I think I used a white acrylic paint pen as well to do a few little white dots around and try to create a little bit of a magical sort of atmosphere going on outside of the jar while these guys are inside. These images are stunning. They're so beautiful. I love jar images, and I love Huga Artful's artwork. Like, it's gorgeous. There's There's lots of jars, teapots, little, I love it so much. So yeah, that was from Joy Jar by Hugo Artful, and lots of fun. My next one is by Gabby Wolf's new book, Mini Mania 7. I adore Gabby Wolf. She is right up there with RJ Hampson for me in terms of being my favorite illustrators. I love these cute little animals. I love the way she draws houses, plants. I just enjoy everything about Gabby's work. So I grabbed this book as soon as it came out and jumped straight into coloring it. And this is the page that I did. It's actually the first time that I've ever used alcohol markers in Gabby's work, and it was a little bit of a struggle, which I knew it would be, only because her line art is so thin. And I'm used to coloring, you know, lines like I just showed in that Joy Jar book, where they're quite thick and it's a bit more forgiving when you use alcohol markers. I'm just learning how far I can go to the lines before it starts to bleed over, but that's okay. I only had a few little mishaps around the edges here where I've bled out past the lines, but for the most part inside the illustration I tried to cover that with using gel pens and pencils and stuff like that. So overall I'm really happy with how this turned out. I used my Ohuhu markers. I used my Languo gel pens heavily in this, obviously with all the grass. I also used some acrylic paint pens on the reflection in the water. My Ohuhu markers up here for the sky, and then I used my colorless blender to pull some of the color back out to sort of give a softer look for the clouds, and then went over that with some pencil. I used I actually used some brand new, really, really cheap pencils that I bought from Kmart. They're an Anko brand pencil. And I'm telling you, these things are incredible. I don't even know where I've put them right now, but they cost me a few dollars and they worked so well over the top of my alcohol markers. The shading that I got, like on the house and things like that, like they were unreal for a few dollars. I thought this is when I love finding bargains like this, because it just played nicely with my page and I got to use them instead of having to reach for my expensive pencils all the time. I thought this is fun to mix it up, different colors, different textures, and I had so much fun with this page, you guys. It was amazing. He is so cute. I love his little jeans. I tried to make them look like it was denim slightly by using my colorless blender and sort of pulling some of the blue ink back out. I used a lot of gel pen on the grass. I laid down a Ohuhu marker as a flat color, and then I went in with a little bit of gel pen to try and create a bit of depth, and then I just got further and further into it, and in the end it just ended up with so much grass everywhere. So it ended up quite dense, but that's okay. These things happen and I don't hate it. I mean, it's just not exactly what I saw for the page, but that's okay. There's a lot more green. There's not enough sort of variance for me. I feel like some of the things get a little bit lost in the page because of that, but that's fine. I don't mind. I love how it turned out still, and I enjoyed doing it, and I guess that's what counts the most, isn't it? So for the border, I went back in again and just used some eyeshadow as a pastel. It again is coming across a lot more blotchy on camera than what it does in real life. It's definitely not quite as blotchy as it appears on screen, so it's a lot softer and a lot more sort of blended, but it's always fun. I've been using, when I put it on, I use these makeup brushes that I got from Amazon. They were a couple of bucks and they came in all different sizes, and they're super dense but super soft as well, and they're just easy to get on the page and just kind of like, I just rub it and then it moves around slightly as well. So if you do end up with a dark patch, it can be moved. So yeah, I love that page and how it turned out, and just the illustrations in this book. I'm just sort of segue for a second, but look how cute they are. I was going to do a flip through of this book when I got it, but noticed that Gabby had done one already and I was just way too excited to color it. So I just jumped straight in. I love this. Oh my gosh. So cute. It's spring here too. It's just started spring, so there's so many beautiful floral pages. I love this with the pencil trees. What a fantastic idea. I can't wait to color that. Oh my goodness, they're just, yeah, they're so cute. I cannot get enough of Gabby's artwork and love it to bits. So that was Mini Mania 7 by Gabby Wolf. Now these last few books are all color by number. I leaned heavily into my color by number this month. I really didn't have the capacity for some reason to think too much about colors and palettes and things like that. So I jumped in with these ones. I love this book. Oh my gosh, this is one of my favorite purchases of this year so far. It's very thin. There are not a lot of pages. There's only 23 images to color in this book, but it is a Disney Pixels Coloriages Magiques Mystères by, it's Hachette Jeunesse. I think that's how you say it. Hachette Jeunesse? Jeunesse? I think it means junior. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't actually looked it up. I'm just assuming. But yeah, so for 7+, and I'm all about it. Check out how cute these pictures come out. Oopsie. Sorry about that. So this first one is Dumbo. Oh, I love looking at this. I know it's pixelated, but you can still, I love that it's still defined enough where you can see what the image actually is and it's clear. The color palettes are beautiful on these pages, absolutely stunning. I did change this bottom bit here though. It was orange. Spoiler alert, I'm going to show the solution. So if you're not a solution person, look away for a moment. This is how it actually looked on the solutions, and I didn't like this orange down the bottom. So I did change that and made it this pinky purpley color. I love it, the orchid color. It's so pretty. I also really don't like in these Disney color by number books when it's left uncolored around the edge. I don't like being able to see the key at the bottom once it's completed. So you will see a lot of black borders in my color by number pages, especially the Hachette or Hatchet. Is it Hachette or Hatchet? I don't know. Books. So yeah. So very happy with how this one came out. I then went on to these two. I haven't colored out these borders yet, but I will do that. I did Baloo. And I also did Bambi, and they are so pretty again with the really gorgeous color schemes. For all of these pages too, I've only used Crayola Super Tips. They don't go streaky, no, well, not too badly anyway. Nothing that I'm bothered by. I feel like they've laid down a really nice solid color. The paper in these books are really nice. Like I didn't get any buckling from using watercolor markers and acrylic paint around the edge. I just shut the book once dry and no problems. Like I didn't even get any transfer from the black acrylic over here either, which is lovely. So I thought with these two, if ever I feel like it's too patchy, I'll just go in over the top with some colored pencil and smooth it out a little bit, but I honestly haven't needed to. I feel like the Crayola Super Tips match pretty well to the color keys in this book as well, so I don't need to fiddle around too much. I do change colors occasionally though. If I'm feeling like the color palette isn't exactly what I'm after, I'll just go in and put my own colors in, like here. So it was supposed to be this color here for the music notes, and I've changed it to blue just because, I don't know, I just like having my own color. I want it to be really aesthetic to my eye, and I enjoy how it turned out. So very happy with that. This is what they look like uncolored. So again, it's the type of book where unless you go to the back and look at the solutions, you don't know what you're going to get. So it's so much fun and very easy to color, being squares. Yeah. Very cool book. There's only 23 illustrations in here though, so it's not a super complex or long book to color. If anybody is interested, I will do a super quick flick of the solutions now, so look away if it's not something you want to see, but in case anyone might be interested in this book, these are what you get inside. I love that one of Stitch, so cute. And this little one of Pascal. Oh, so cute. So they're fairly basic illustrations. That's what I mean. They're great for kids and adults, but they're so easy to color. So that's all of them. And that's what I did in Disney Coloriages Magiques Mystères. My next book is one that will probably be mentioned in every single completed pages videos that I make. Color by Number Animals by Jade Summer. I want to work through this book front to back and finish it because I adore it. That was last month's. Start here. So for this month, I think I did maybe 2 or 3 pages in this one. I did this giraffe. I don't know what happened here. I colored it. I used Chenrui markers for this whole book because I've already mapped out the color palette based on the key at the back. So I have all my markers in a box along with my little booklet that has all the colors that correlate. It's a bit hard to see that. All the colors that correlate to these numbers, and that way I just pull them out as I need them for each picture. And I love how this one turned out, but I'm not a huge fan of the pencil work that I did. I started and I think I've abandoned it. I can't even remember why I stopped. So I based with my Chenrui markers, and then for the outside I shaded with my Chenrui markers as well once it was dried down. But I didn't do any shading in here. I went in with some Kahlua pencil on the giraffe, but I've noticed then all of a sudden I've stopped. So either this was a whip and I've forgotten about it, which is quite possible with the way my mind is working at the moment. I'm forgetting everything. But otherwise, I've abandoned it. I'm not sure. I think I just gave up. I wasn't happy with how the shading was going and just left it and moved on because I've started another page, which is this one. I had an okay time coloring this page. I'm not a great big fan of the colors for this page. I don't like it. Normally the palettes are really pleasing to my eye. I look forward to it and I enjoy it, but this one I just didn't. I don't know. He turned out just fine. Like, I'm happy with how he came out, but there's not enough kind of variance in the colors in the background and maybe within his coat for me to enjoy it enough. But I just tried to zhuzh it up a little bit by using my Pentel Dual Hybrid glitter my Pentel Dual Hybrid glitter pens in the stars. So the stars, I used the gold. Not sure. Hopefully that's catching. It's so super glittery. I love these pens so much. I used those for a couple of the stars, the bigger stars, and then this is a little harder to see, but right here on this border, I used the black that shifts to blue, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't have the pen with me, but I think it's black and it shifts to blue. And then around the moon there, I also used my red. I think it's red that shifts to pink. I just love these pens so much, the gel pens. And once they dry down, they're really good. Like, you do get a little bit of kick up from them, but it's nothing too bad. Yeah, so I just kind of had a little play around with those. Other than that, it's just Chenrui on this page. There's no highlights or anything. I didn't bother. I did shade slightly with the Chenrui markers, but I guess I just wanted to get this one finished and done with. This one though, I enjoyed so flipping much. I cannot tell you how much fun I had with this page. This is everything that is opposite to my taste in a color palette. But I don't know. I can't even describe the way that it made me feel to color this page. I would never pick these colors out. I'm a more pastel person, or more kind of blues and purples and pinks and things like that. I've always navigated that way. Sorry, I just had a coughing fit and needed to have a drink. So this color palette is definitely not something that I would normally lean into, but I really enjoyed this. The warmer tones, the reds, yellows, oranges with the blue. I love the pops of blue. I really want to use this color palette in another illustration because I enjoyed it so much. There was never a time that I would have picked these colors to go together and thought I'd enjoy it like I did, but it turned out really pretty. I used the Chenrui markers to base as always, and then that's it. I left it there. Then I grabbed my Color pencils, which I've been loving so much. They're really good pencils, and I shaded with those and just had a fun time sort of shading. I love the sort of textured look that it gave. It was just a really nice time. I'm not the best with shading and I don't always burnish or anything, but this was fun. I always find pencils lie really nicely over alcohol markers. So yeah, that might be the new way I color these pages. Not sure yet, but I enjoyed it. And we'll be going forward. I'm working front to back with this book, and my next one will be the Flamingo. So she should appear in next month's completed pages. And yeah, that's Color by Number Animals by Jade Summer. Next one is 100 Quest Color by Number with Black Frames by Sun Life Drawing. I really love these. Again, I think I said last month, but this book is so thick and you get so many pages. You don't get any spoilers at the back. There is no solutions. It's all of it is just pixel pages, and you can't even tell by looking at the page. As far as I'm aware, I've not been able to work out what the illustration is going to be until I start coloring. So I love that it has squares, circles, hexagons, triangles, you know, all the different shapes. So whoops, that was a bit of a sneaky peek for this month, but my ones I've just clipped them together because I've done some before and some after, and I don't always date my pages properly. I forget. So this is the first one I did in August, and it was this hummingbird page. I used my Crayola Super Tips for this one, and generally, as a rule, that's what I like to use because they don't bleed. They don't really bleed through. They don't buckle the page, and they just, I don't know, the colors are really vibrant and pretty. So I enjoyed how this one came out. I love these pinks and purples down here, and I really like that there's a lot of blue in them. I don't love orange as a color normally, but I really think this one turned out pretty. So that was just Crayola Super Tips. Same with this one. I don't love this page or the color palette. I feel like it's too much color personally, but looking at it on the camera, it looks okay, but in person, even though I used my Crayola Super Tips again, I got a little bit of streaking with this page, which is unusual because I don't normally get that. It could have been the way that I colored too. I might have not been. I find with Crayola Super Tips, if I lay them on their side a little bit and sort of do small circular motions, I get a fairly good result, but I definitely got some streaking with these greens and things like that, but that's okay. It was another page done, and I really enjoyed the process, which is what it's all about. Am I right? Anyway, that was that page. This one, on the other hand, oh my goodness, this one was a labor of love. I tried to do too much with this. I had some new Chenrui acrylic paint pens that I bought off Shein that I wanted to try out in this book and see how they work. They're not opaque at all. I layered and layered and layered and layered. Still didn't get the opacity that I was after. Substituted the colors that I didn't have with my Lengwo gel pens, and that is where I come unstuck. The gel pens are so opaque, which is fantastic. I love that about it, but it ended up causing my page to just be all sorts of a mess because obviously you can see that the gel pens cover the lines and all that kind of thing, whereas the acrylic markers don't. So you're getting super opaque sections of the picture, and then you can still see the numbers through where the paint pens went. Some of the darker paint pens covered a little better, but overall it wasn't a very fun experience, if I'm completely honest. I finished it because I just wanted to. I can't leave pages like this left unfinished when I've started, but I gave up in the end, and it was just a matter of getting it done. So there's mess, there's places I haven't corrected. The picture itself is gorgeous. Like, I love the look of the picture. I just don't like the textures and the way that the colors work together and things like that. It was just, no. I should have just stuck with my Crayola Super Tips, I feel like I really would have enjoyed this page more if I had, or if I had have gone in and just maybe supplemented my Chenrui acrylic markers with maybe the Guangna ones that I have. I just wanted to really test out this product on its own. And while they're okay, I definitely won't be rushing to use them on color by number pages that much. But yeah, as I said, the illustration I really like. I just don't like how it turned out. It's just too mishmashy for me. Yeah, it's just not pleasing. So that was that one, but it's another page done, isn't it? So that's okay. This one I went back to my trusty Crayola Super Tips and I'm happy with how it turned out. This peach is probably a little dark for what I would have liked, but I still think it turned out really cute. I've noticed in this book that they do use quite a lot of greens and oranges on the pages. That's okay though, it's fun. And the next page is already done for September, so I won't flip over to that one yet. And yep, that's 100 Quest Color by Number by Sun Life Drawing. All right, this one is the last book for me for August, and I adore this book so very much. I've decided that I'm collecting the Disney collector books by Hachette Hero. By Hachette Heroes. This is or Hatchet. I apologize if I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. Hachette Little Heroes. I have this one. I also have volume 2 and I've pre-ordered volume 3 and I can't wait for it to come. These books are incredible. They're beautiful. I've also bought the collector edition of the Princesses Coloriages Mystère color by number book as well in this big thick they're hard copy. They have a foiled edging around the pages on the top and the bottom. Oh my goodness, sorry. Top and the bottom, and the quality is beautiful. The pages are nice and thick. They're really nice quality. And before I jump into what I've done, what I love about these books is that you get 300 pages to color to start with, but they go through and you get normal coloring pages. So it will start with, say, this page, which is the title page, and it's sections off the type of pages you're going to be coloring. So princesses, obviously. Then you get normal coloring pages, which you get a beautiful selection of pages within this. That's a great Halloween page. All the princesses in just normal coloring pages, and then towards the back of each section, it then turns into, you get heaps. See, it's like 30 pages or something like that. It must be more actually, probably more than that even. It then turns into little activities at the back where you've got like join the dots. Then it turns into these ones, the Coloriage Mystère ones, and you get quite a few of those in each section as well. And then you also get the circle color by number. And I checked the back, and there is 100 of these pages. If anybody wants to see a spoiler, I'll just quickly flip. I love how it's kind of like sort of blurred a little bit when you do the circle ones, and it also gives you the join the dot illustration that you could then color once, I guess, you've done. I love Maleficent. I also love Ursula. She's my favorite villain. I love her because The Little Mermaid is my favorite Disney princess movie. He's so cute. I love Pascal. So these are the solutions that you get. I do believe they are in the single books, but I wanted to do this so I had a selection of different types of pages to color rather than just one book with all color by number, pages. I love Disney, and I don't know, I just want to be able to flip through, find something to color and enjoy it. There's so many themes, there's so many types of pages that have come from the other books that they create. But yeah, anyway, that was long-winded to get to my page. This is the page that I did this month, or last month, I should say. So it's the Elsa and Anna page. I used only my Guangna acrylic paint pens for this one, including the border. I've once again blacked out the key code, but I've gotten rid of that. I also sealed this with Liquitex matte varnish. So it's an acrylic varnish, because I've noticed before when I've used paint pens that because I wear bracelets and things like that, when I color, I scratch the paint, and I hate the way that it looks once it's scratched, or if you have a little bit of oil on your fingers or something, it transfers to the picture, and then I don't want to touch it because it just looks horrible. This has sealed it down. It's flattened the page out pretty well. There's very minimal buckling or curving of the page, and it's quite hard because it's such a thick book to get it to sit flat. But yeah, I closed the book and then I turned it over so the heavy part was on top of the page, and I feel like it flattened it out pretty well. So I really enjoyed doing this. I started with this one because it was fairly basic, and I feel like it turned out really nice. But yeah, so that was enjoyable. And that is all of my pages for this month. If anybody is interested in a more in-depth flip through of these collector books, let me know, because they truly are really beautiful if you enjoy standard pages as well. As I said, the paper quality is fantastic. I haven't tried it with watercolor or anything yet, but I bought these books with the intention of being able to try whatever I want on them and see how they go. So it's very cute. They're about $60 Australian, I think, on Amazon, somewhere around there. Totally worth it for the amount of pages that you get. You get the Vitro type ones as well. Then you get the, I can't think now the actual names. I get them so confused. I've also bought the bookmarks as well from these, and this sort of style reminds me of the Hachette bookmarks. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the Petit Poupée one. As I said, I really, really love this. I'm pretty sure these ones were done by Capucine. Where is it? Is it on here? I think the illustrator's name is Capucine. I don't even know how you pronounce it, so I don't want to ruin it. But anyway, they are so beautiful, these pictures. I'm so obsessed. I'm too scared to make a start because I don't want to ruin them. I just love flipping through. And I know that there is also a book, Petit Poupée book, that is the same illustrations as these. And I also have the color by number Petit Poupée as well. So there's like 3 different ones that I've found, including these bookmarks for the Petit Poupée. But so cute. Again, I've gone off the track, but that's what these long, thin illustrations really remind me of. There's a whole bunch of different bookmarks as well available, not just the Petit Poupée ones. So there's definitely something for everyone in here. So that was everything for my colored pages for August 2025. I so appreciate you guys being here and sticking with me through this, and I hope you enjoyed some of my pages. It was quite a rambly one. I'm sorry. As I said, it's been a bit of a bumpy month, and I love coming on here and chatting with you guys. So hopefully I didn't bore you off to sleep. But let me know if there's anything that you want to see flip throughs on or anything like that. I mean, there's so many flip throughs already on YouTube, I know, but if you see anything you like, always feel free to reach out, and I'm happy to try and organize something to show you the books that I love to collect. I'm such a collector, so I don't always buy things because I want to color them in. Sometimes I buy them because I just want to have them in my possession. But yeah, hopefully for the most part you'll see parts of every book that I own eventually, and yeah, I can't wait to share them. But thanks again for hanging out with me today, you guys. I appreciate you being here so much, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video. Lots of love. Bye.